Hello buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and today we're playing Beyond Our Rule Ripper, and last time we had what seemed like a panic attack, but never mind, we took our antidotes and cured our poison for another hour. We had a conversation with Vodka and Cocktail, that's what they're called, and now I think we're going to speak to someone else, so I guess let's find out. We're also going to find out what direction things are going to go from that point forward. So that's cool, isn't it? Let's go. I guess I'll read this. That's where we left off. In his head, memories from the recent dispute the group had were replaying. What direction were things going to go from that point forward? That's exactly what I just said. Never mind. Let's go. Cocktail had grabbed a wet towel and was spending his time cleaning a glass. The same one over and over again for a few minutes. The intention wasn't to make it pristine, but to suppress his anxiousness in a way that wasn't obvious to the other players. Someone sat to his side, making him turn his head. Before his eyes recognised who it was, the smell of tobacco reached his nostrils. Who smokes? Gin? Does Gin smoke? No, her. Cigar, of course. Holding a cigarette and a lighter, Cigar sat down on the stool, crossing one leg over the other. The lighter's spark ignited the tip of the cigarette, and after taking in some, she let out a big puff of smoke. Anything to drink? Why not? Since we're here, might as well enjoy what we can. What do you have, bartender? Just about anything. You know, it's been years since I had a martini. Could you get me one? Of course. Hold on a moment. Oh, and look for some nuts. And look for some nuts or peanuts or anything like that to eat. I'll see what I can do. Bill found Cigar's attitude disconcerting. She was smiling, seemingly looking forward to trying the drink as if the game wasn't her concern and she was just passing the time at a bar. Less than an hour ago she was panicking severely, wanting to get out of there immediately. It was disturbing. You seem cheerful, Cigar. Excuse me. Her usual look of disdain quickly came back. What are you talking about? I'm not cheerful. As if I could. Then why that smile a moment ago? Must be woman stuff, boy. I love Vodka. I stopped trying to understand them long ago. I don't think that's it. Bah, youngsters. I stopped trying to understand you lot long ago. So then, Cigar, what was going through your head? Why did you look so upbeat? Yeah, tell me. Well, it's a pretty embarrassing thing to admit. It had been a while since... Since what? Since I last had a drink, you know, in a bar. This brought me back. Sitting on the counter, smoke in hand, asking a barman for a drink. I missed it a bit, kind of wanting to relive it again. Shame it had to be under these circumstances. As Cocktail came back with Cigar's drink and a small glass bowl, with an assortment of appetizers, another player arrived. Who's that? Oh, hello, Piano. Piano sat next to Cigar and looked at the four of them. It seemed like he wanted to say something, but ended up remaining silent while waggling his feet, which didn't reach the floor. That's cute. Hey, Piano. What? The kid's blunt response caught Bill by surprise. It took him a second to put himself back together. I just wanted to include him in the conversation. Don't you want anything? I guess, why not? Piano leaned forward to check what the others were having, and saw vodkas and Cigar's cups, or glasses. The martini seemed too elegant, what a grandiose person would drink. On the other hand, it fit Cigar like a glove. It gave off the impression of a sophisticated woman, or at least of a woman that acted like one. Vodka's was much more alluring to him, so he asked,
What's he having?
Vodka. Vodka seemed to get out of his haze at that moment.
Were you calling me?
No, Piano was asking what drink you were having.
Oh, I see. It's vodka, son. Yeah, he already told me. Then I also want one.
Are you sure? Isn't it, like, really strong? Yes, very much so, especially for someone his age.
Oh, come on, dude, give me one. Why do you care?
I think I could, if anything, serve you a sip at most. That still seems too much.
Okay, fine, that works.
Understood. Oh. Wait, are you idiots? Is this for real? Hey? Excuse me? Are you really going to give vodka of all things to a kid?
Hey, who says you can decide what I do?
Common sense, boy. Last thing we need right now is an alcohol-poisoned child. Right, that could be really bad for you, Piano.
I'm old enough to decide for myself.
Old enough? Yeah, right. Don't give him anything, Cocktail.
Gimme!
Then, what do I do? Do I do it, or... Don't you dare.
Yes, goddammit!
What should I do? Serve or not serve? He's serving for now. For sure. What he's wearing? His bow tie. His little handkerchief. Still holding onto the small glass cup filled with the transparent substance in his trembling hand, Cocktail looked both ways to Cigar and Piano while they gave him contradictory commands. A drop of sweat ran down his forehead. The urge to put an end to the dispute burst out with no warning. Bill snatched the glass from Cocktail's hand and drank it in a single gulp. Tears peeped out of his eyes while the fluid burned his throat, unaccustomed to such a strong liquor. Shit. The woman took one last smoke, puffing it in a way that felt like a sigh. She put the finished cigarette in the glass and looked at the other four players sitting there in what seemed like a look of doubt. Cocktail's eyes fixed on the woman as he frowned. Really though, were you seriously going to do it? I'm truly, truly sorry. I have a hard time refusing an order from a customer. Even that bartender had a weakness, one that was a serious issue. Cocktail put her glass aside, then stared for a moment at the cigarette inside, resting on the half-melted ice cubes, with her nail mark on one of its sides. Then, still haunted by his mistake, emptied the remains of the cup and started the cleanup while whispering something that nobody could hear. Oh, I see. I guess he couldn't help but to feel sorry for him. This ends up being his last chance to try a drink. I didn't want to take it away from him. It took him a bit to recover, but several minutes later, with renewed energy, Bill got off the counter and moved to the centre of the bar. His head was still full of doubts, but he couldn't afford to stay still for much longer. Where were we going to go? The most important problem was to escape. Didn't seem solvable for the time being, so setting it aside, there were other issues to take care of. And one of them, the simplest of all, was... With every new hour, there were two things he had to check in his barman. Rules 7 and 9, unlocking new data and checking what his objective was. He began with the data. While he didn't want to unravel the numbers of others, it was useful for his own. Not only was it important to know what rule he could disobey, but also necessary to survive Rule 3 if the lie was proven. He opened the data menu and tapped the second one. As he had started with the first one, he decided to continue in order. Travelled abroad. 3, 4, 5, 9 and 10. And the data that appeared on screen changed everything. It was a bit embarrassing for him to admit, but he'd barely travelled. The few times he had, it was never too far and definitely not abroad. Okay. That rules out a lot then, doesn't it? So that means he could be 2. So he could be 1. He can't be 1 because he doesn't like black coffee. So he's not 1, 5, 7 and 9. And then we've got... So he could be 2. He could be 6. 8. 2, 6 and 8? Is that it? I think it might be, right? Can't be 1. Can't be 2. Can't be 3. Can't be 4. Can't be 5. He can be 6. Can't be 7. Could be 8. 2, 6 or 8. If neither data corresponded to him, and assuming the organizer of the game didn't mess up, all those numbers could be ruled out, which only left him with 3. Rule 8, given control over messaging. Rule 6, given advantage in accusals. And more importantly, Rule 2, the key to the outside of the Golden Jack. Can it really be me? Up until then, the likelihood that it was him was low, so going outside in search for help was basically suicide, but now that option wasn't as daunting. It was still dangerous. Actually, even if it was his rule, as Cocktail had put it was risky for number 2 to go out. It had to not be seen, and his absence go unnoticed. Wait, what if that's the point? Maybe those obstacles were part of the design of the game. The building's exit had to be somewhere outside of the bar. The poison forced them to remain here to receive antidotes, but it wasn't a physical restriction. If they went out with enough time, perhaps they could get to a hospital, but they would get 1 hour at most. Hard, though not impossible depending on their location. It could be the case that the game was designed so that 2 was forced to not remain outside the bar for too long to prevent them from escaping. No. There was a problem with that logic. If 2 died, everyone could leave without any limitations. There had to be something preventing them from escaping. Or perhaps the owner had made sure that there wasn't enough time to save themselves from the poison. His head hurt again, and not because of the poison. He had to stop. The important thing is that he had reduced his number to 3 candidates. It was time to check the objective. Thanks to his data, he knew for sure that he wasn't 9, so he had to complete them to survive each hour. Find a new hint. His first objective appeared. Hints. According to the rules of the game, information hidden throughout the building. Given that the outside of the bar was only accessible for 1 person, it was to be expected that a good number of them would be hidden inside. He had no idea what form they could take, but it wasn't a bad objective to start with. He already planned to investigate the place in more depth, and that only gave him more reason to. That said, it was important to not find more than 1 hint. He didn't know how many there were, and there didn't seem to be any way to know, but if they ran out, that objective would become a death sentence. Bill put away his barman. It was time to move. Looking around, there were several places that could contain hints. There were also poker, darts and gin around the pool table. Were they going to play in those circumstances? There seemed to be the 3 agitators of the group. He probably wasn't going to get any clues from there, but maybe it'd be a good chance to talk to them. In addition, while he was checking his barman, Piano had gotten up from the counter and had gone to check the bookshelf area, same as the previous hour. Wouldn't be a bad idea to talk to the others he found, either, but where to begin? Where to begin? Oh, okay. So, pool table. Piano. Let's go over here first. Drink. The fish tank near the counter caught his attention. There was a lot of tables and sofas behind it which could hide what he needed. Any hints? Right as he got there, something or more like someone caught his attention. Who is it? There she is. Lime laying down on one of the sofas. At first he thought that she was sleeping, but one of her eyes was open, her gaze pointing somewhere on the ceiling, gave away that something was on her mind. Before he could say a word, she greeted him first. Hey, billboard. These sofas are the bestest. Try one. Your body melts into pleasure. Like being on paradise. She almost made it sound like an ad. They did look comfortable, but considering the circumstances, he didn't like the paradise part one bit. Besides, the fact that that place was no heaven, it was instead closer to the opposite. He also didn't wish to depart the land of the living anytime soon. Lime, however, seemed oblivious to those unfortunate implications. In general, he wasn't sure if Lime realised that their lives were in danger. She obviously knew about the game and its rules, but she wasn't taking it seriously whatsoever. Until then, he had interpreted it as blind optimism, but maybe it was that she didn't care about losing. Maybe she didn't value her own life enough, or perhaps she was confident in her victory. No, I shouldn't be thinking this. Trying to shake off those thoughts, he sat down in the sofa opposite to hers. Actually not bad. Very soft. Yeah, the softest, like a cloud. She's French. Right, like paradise. Exactement. You're getting it. He sighed. Blind optimism wasn't the right word anymore. It was as if eyesight was it wasn't the only sense that she lacked. But that didn't annoy him. In fact, he couldn't help but worry about her, while at the same time feeling a small tinge of envy. Since the moment he'd first opened his eyes in that bar, his mind had filled his body with fear, worries, shivers, anxiety. And he could feel himself slowly drowning in that sea of negative emotions, taking it all in, never reaching the bottom of that poisoned cup. If he could relax, throw away all worries and be carefree like her, he'd finally be able to breathe. But he couldn't. I want to talk to you for a bit. Well, of course. Why else would you come visit me? I didn't know you were here, though. Huh? Where else would I be but here? These sofas really are the bomb, my dude. I mean, I don't really know you that much. We first met an hour ago, or even less than that. Oh yeah, true, but, I'm not much of a mystery. Not like them. What you see is what you get. Nothing to hide, baby. If you say so. She's great. But I feel like you do have an ace up your sleeve. An ace? Like what? I'm not poker. Go, Billy. Good one. Nice. You know, ace. Poker. Yes, I understand my own joke. I mean, it wasn't much of a joke, I just said it without thinking. What's with that face, then? What do you think I'm hiding? Don't take it personal. I'm not saying you're hiding anything big. It's just the impression I got, like, there's more than meets the eye. Obvious copyrighted joke here. Okay. More like what? Copy? Oh, right. Anyways, I'm not that special. What? First, you should chill. Chill? How? Trust me. Throw yourself on the sofa and embrace the magic. The magic. Again with that? Wait, are you changing the subject? It's gonna be hard to get up later. I tell you what. Whoa, just got mind blasted by an amazing idea. Let's do all the councils here. Everyone is lying down. Whoa, just got my mind blasted by an amazing idea. She just said the same thing again. Let's do all the councils here. With everyone lying down. Was she thinking out loud before, or did she just repeat it to add more emphasis? Bill was baffled. Talking with her was like trying to learn a new language. And she'd now made him curious. So? What are you here for then? The call of the sofa too. If I was looking for one, they're all over the bar. But none like these, none like these, trust me. Pretty sure they're all very similar, if not identical. You can't be sure unless you try them all. Okay. Really though, why did you come here then? Were you looking for something or someone maybe? Well, no worries, pretend I'm not here. Do what you must. Are you sure? Of course. I still got three sofas waiting for me to check them. You know? Do you really think that this is the time to be doing this? If not now, when? I don't think I'll be visiting this place twice. Besides, lying down is what we all need to do most right now, especially you. At this rate, the stress is going to make your head explode. Kaboom! Sure, having some time to relax would be nice, but the rules will make deaths inevitable in just 5 hours, and then in 9. We're too pressed for time. What's with all this pressure you're on? What are you, a scuba diver? Your billiards. Or one simple tap to the height ball and you can win the match. You only need that bit of luck. Auntie Lime's advice, words of wisdom. Careful, Zo. Next one won't be free. She's great. Her attitude was questionable, but she'd managed to cheer him up a bit at least. Cheer me up as well. Maybe he did need to throw aside all his worries and fears for a bit and take a break. But he didn't think he could. How could he calm himself in that situation? The way Lime made it look so easy raised the chance that she really believed in her survival, or that for some other reason she didn't need to worry. Or maybe it was simply her personality. So, where were you just taking a walk? Or are you looking for someone? Yeah, something like that, I guess. He couldn't mention his objective. According to the rules, it had to be secret for the whole hour. If you change your mind and want to join my sofa worship cult, come see me again. We're always open to new recruits. Remember. But if you choose not to, that's all I've got to say. Good day, sir. And with that, she closed her eyes. Is she going to sleep? Okay. That allowed him to search the area more secretly, at least. He stared under the sofas, but there was nothing there to find. He skipped Lime's, but the likelihood of something being under the Lime's sofa. He skipped Lime's sofa, but the likelihood of something being under the one sofa he skipped was low. If there was, he would have just had to deal with his bad luck and look somewhere else. Where are we going to look now? After a while, he gave up, nothing in sight. It was best to go somewhere else. Okay, billiard little ball. So where have we got? Piano. Boink. Going over his options, he remembered the bookshelves near the piano. That sounded like a good place to hide a hint. And fittingly, he found Piano at the piano, playing a song. Yet another very fitting nickname. Meanwhile, his still seemed arbitrary. Before starting the search, he sat down on one of the nearby chairs to listen. While being no expert, he could tell it was good. Even at his age, he must have had years of experience. It gave him the impression of a young prodigy, a concept tightly linked to the piano, thanks to people like Mozart, although piano probably wasn't on that level. Rude. Still, listening to that gentle song calmed him down slightly, which his body desperately needed since he woke up in that cage. It hadn't been the type of song he'd expected from piano. He was trying so hard to appear mature that Bill had expected him to force himself to listen to more hardcore types of music. Once the song was over, he clapped. Though he wasn't very loud, piano jumped up slightly, turned around immediately.
Why are you here?
Wait, did I scare you?
How long have you been, there?
You didn't hear me coming.
I was too focused. Answer!
I didn't hear the start of the song, but I've been here a few minutes. I guess. I didn't want to interrupt. I mean, if you're playing the piano, everyone hears this song in this room, right? Actually, I thought you already knew I was here. Sorry. He also hadn't expected him to get angry for that. Piano turned his head towards the piano, but with a sideways glance at Bill.
You better be sorry. Didn't scare me, but,
Judging by his reaction, Bill was quite sure he had, but he didn't say anything to maintain peace.
You only came to see?
Actually, I was just taking a walk. He decided to keep quiet about checking the bookshelves. The objectives had to be kept secret, and saying anything about searching could make it obvious. Actually, the rules forbid them from revealing someone else's objective to kill, unless you were number one. He believed that nobody would do it, but as much as he wanted to trust them, he couldn't help but be slightly wary and act with precaution. But you play pretty well, so I took a seat in the audience.
Pretty well? How much exactly?
Well, now he wants compliments. Not sure. I'm not that into classical music.
Lame.
He sounded offended. It's not that I don't like it, but it's not something I listen to often.
So what do you listen to then?
Well, lately I've listened to some of Beyond's newest album. Is that supposed to be Beyond R?
Listen to that, seriously.
Or is that the band that did the music for this visual novel? I don't know. I heard a lot of people liked it.
I know, of course, that one's very popular, but mainstream sucks.
Huh?
What, do you just listen to whatever's popular?
Well, maybe. Music in general isn't really a hobby for me. If people really recommend something, I just,
Pathetic.
Of all the things he had expected to happen during that twisted game, his tastes being criticised by a kid was not one of them.
I'll give you some good quality names and you'll see I'm right.
Classical.
No, techno, and like rap and stuff like that.
Wait, nothing classical.
Classical is for, well...
He himself realised that what he was saying didn't match with the little concert he just performed.
I can recommend some classics too.
Okay. What was that kid's problem? Bill was quite confused. What were you playing?
You don't even know that. It's Claire de Lune.
Ah, now that you mention it, it does sound familiar. Who wrote it? Debussy. No, that's wrong.
Beethoven.
Oh, right. Should have seen that coming. He's so famous for a reason. What?
It's Claude Debussy, idiot. You're clueless. Beethoven's is Moonlight Sonata, also about the moon.
Oh, No idea that, honestly, outside of Mozart and Beethoven, I don't know much. Shaking his fist. Piano didn't seem to want to talk anymore, considering that he had just turned around. Accepting that, Bill left him alone and moved to the bookshelf. Cigar and Piano had already checked them before, but they probably didn't go book by book. As they said, they were academic books about science, philosophy and artistic subjects. No fiction. It looked a little out of place in a bar. Not only the subjects, but the mere presence of any sort of book. It made it look like a library. It didn't sound like a bad idea for those who wanted to read sitting down in one of the sofas with a drink, but it probably wasn't the usage that most people would give a bar. It wasn't a disco, but it was still a social space where reading alone didn't fit. Does this mean anything? It could be a clue to the identity of its owner, or merely a distraction. Or perhaps, if the owner wasn't the founder of the bar, it had no meaning. Or it could also be there as a place to hide clues. That's what he wanted to check. Okay, so where to start? He needed an idea, a trail to follow, some plan of action. And that plan was... Okay, well I guess they're all the same. Search randomly until finding something. Good plan. Obviously he had no clue, literally and figuratively. Which meant that he was going to need a lot of patience. And luck, especially luck, if there even was something to find in the first place. Several minutes later, after looking through 20, maybe 30 books, he'd found nothing. There was still a lot to check, but, The moment he was about to leave, one called his attention. It was a tourist guide with a mountain on its cover, and the headline, "Visit the gorgeous snowy peaks of Mount Akakura, and relax within its luxurious cabins." Too out of place to not be suspicious, he grabbed it and started looking through it in more detail than the others. He went page by page, one by one, searching for anything strange. And finally he found it. In between the pages rested a conspicuous envelope that did not belong, and inside a newspaper clipping. Objective accomplished. His barman confirmed it, that it had been done. That was one of the game's hints. It was small, probably cut from a much larger page, and only one article could be read in its entirety. All names had been manually censored, however. Minor news about a car accident. The victim had survived, but... Oh? He took a deep breath and continued reading. The only victim had been hospitalized for a few days. Apparently, the cause of the accident had been sleep deprivation. He wasn't sure what information could be drawn from that clue, but the important part was that the objective was done. Rule 9 wouldn't kill him. At least, not that hour. Hint, newspaper clip, added to the inventory. Okay, hang on. Come back. Found the first hint. After calming down, he put it back into the envelope and inside one of his pockets. I hope everyone else can complete their objectives too. Not much to do there, even if he did his best to avoid deaths. If someone aside from 9 failed their objective, he couldn't save them. With the objectives being secret, he had no way to help directly. He had to trust in them, fingers crossed. With some time left until the council and nothing else to do there, he moved to another part of the bar. I want to look over here. Okay, let's, oh, no. Right, so we have... Doink, 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 doink. So let's go there. Boink. Hey, guys! How's it going? Can I look over here? This. These are profiles. What if I learned more about the profile? Oh, everyone's got a thing. What's new? I still can't give up on her so soon, or anyone else here. Nobody said this was going to be easy or quick. Okay. I see. Council's over, time to take the antidotes. Right, okay. His professionalism is laudable. No doubt about that, but being unsure about denying Piano's request is going too far, and my throat paid the price. A painful sacrifice, but one that needed to be done. I didn't expect this. What's this? Third character introduction interview. Rule cocktail. There he is. Welcome, please introduce yourself to the audience. Hello. My name is Cocktail, I suppose. I would say it's a pleasure, but I don't think it's in this case. Don't think it is in this case. Fair enough. Now please tell us about a bit about yourself. This is funny. Do I have to? Isn't personal information a weapon in this game because of the data? Smart guy, aren't you? Although in your case, anyone can infer some information easily. Maybe so. Next question, please. No need to rush. Not that I mind, but I'd like to get a proper interview for once. I thought you might give me one. Me? Well, professionalism is one of my principles. I can see that. Oh, I can see that. And what are the other ones? Composure, rationality, and morality. I could think of some other ones, but I would say that those are the most important to me. Morality, you say? Will that hold in this game? Given that I don't plan to kill, it will. Not to say that I plan to die, either. Interesting. A neutral position, then. Something like that. Very well, next question, then. What can you provide to this game? Drinks, most of all. Every bar needs its bartender, and that role has fallen to me. I would advise you not to stay too long behind the counter, even in your neutral stance, but do as you please. We'll see. Let's add a personalised question, now that we're on this topic. What's your favourite cocktail? A tough question. It really depends on the mood. There's no such thing as the perfect drink. Every moment requires a different one. Not to say that all are equal, of course. Some I prefer to others, but generally speaking, I won't say no to most. Additionally, I can prepare a big variety of them by memory, and I'm open to experimentation. That was a much longer answer than I expected, while also not answering the question. Oh, my apologies. That's the one topic I can easily ramble on with no end. But that's my honest response. I can't choose. I can't choose only one. Anyone who can just doesn't know enough. Bold proclamation there. Perhaps, but as an expert, that is my opinion. As an expert, you say. I thought you didn't want to go into personal information. Indeed, but like you said, some things are evident from looking at me, so it's not a big deal. Very true, and I guess modesty isn't one of your principles. Not on this particular topic, I'm afraid. Okay then, next question. If you could choose what rule you will be, which one would it be? Well, this is interesting. I will also refrain from answering this question. Typical. I know my personal preference can't give any actual hints on my real role, but it does give some insight that could be advantageous. How intriguing. Although this conversation won't reach the ears of any other player. Do you believe I trust your word? Fair enough. I guess no normal person would in this situation. In that case, let's skip the remaining question, as your position in this game has already been established anyways. So, final remarks? None in particular. I'm not looking forward to this game, but I would like to start as soon as possible. If I am to die, I would prefer a quick death, but I don't plan to do so. Nobody does. Good luck out there, bartender. May your service be of use. Farewell. It was not a pleasure to meet you. This concludes the interview. Let us make a toast in honour of a fruitful game and the souls of these lost rules, for the Golden Jack, and for our dearest owner. That was weird. Okay. He decided to go to the lower section where they carried out the council. That's not what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at... What did I want to look at? This. Was it? This is the hints menu. Okay. Where you can check them at almost any time. If you deduce to which player a hint belongs and tie information gained from it to one obtained from data, you can figure them out. You can figure out their rule. Okay, cool. No. Oh, that. The sole victim who was driving the vehicle on something away to work survived. However, something had to stay in the hospital for a few days to recover from their injuries. The car crashed into a wall after he allegedly fell asleep, or she, on the wheel for a moment. After being discharged from the hospital, the victim confessed a lack of sleep that had lasted for several days due to overwork. This was led to a controversy surrounding the company, the famous computing giant something, which denies any mishandling of their workers. Okay. Okay, cool. There he found someone unexpected, Coffee. Even though he still barely knew them at all, he felt like the one he knew the least was her. Since he'd woken up there, she'd been the one to speak the least, and yet those few times where she did had attracted everyone's attention. She seemed to talk only when she had anything meaningful to say. Perhaps she was harmless, most likely, yet the possibility that she was hiding some bad intentions wasn't leaving his head. It was for that reason that he wanted to try talking to her one more time. Not only for the need to avoid anyone getting hostile, but also because he was simply worried. A plan. In order to avoid another embarrassing failure, which wasn't great for his self-esteem, he needed a strategy. Think. Hello. She saw me, right? Wasn't just my imagination, I think. Great, now what? Pretend I didn't notice? No, won't work. Oh well, I'll have to go for it like last time. Hey, not very, not very far. Hell, hi, are you searching here too? Yes. Me too. Okay. Was it even possible to have a talk with her? Each time he'd tried to, he'd bumped into a big wall that seemed impenetrable. Clearly he wouldn't get anywhere with simple questions. He needed to bring up some good topics. What do you think about the stuff we talked about at the council? He didn't say much. For a moment, Coffee looked away, trying to ignore him. But he kept looking at her, waiting for an answer. Sorry, I don't want to do this, but you leave me no other choice. I'll keep staring and waiting until I get an answer. We gonna get an answer? Oops. Did I just skip something? No, I didn't. It's okay. While he wasn't expecting any success, it finally worked, once the awkwardness made it impossible for her to keep acting like she was alone. I doubt we can escape, but I'm not planning to kill either, for now. What makes you so sure that we can't? What makes you so sure that we can? We can't know for certain until we look deeper. Pointless. I understand the lack of hope, but without the antidotes, we can't escape. I know. I know that. And they won't be here. Probably not. They also won't be waiting outside. Well, they have to be somewhere. Judging by the distribution method, they're on a floor above, probably one we can't go to. They came down from a lift, so yeah, I guess they're above us. But there has to be a way up. That owner must be up there. That owner Must be up there lowering them, so there should be some stairs or something. Right? He wasn't sure if Coffee didn't have an answer, or if she had decided that talking to him was a waste of time. Really, they could only speculate. There could be security measures that prevented them from going up, but there was no way to know if they could be overcome without seeing them. Perhaps acknowledging it had been decided that blind speculation was meaningless. Okay, so let's talk about something else. You said you didn't plan to kill for now.
I will if I find it necessary.
What if you say there's no way to escape?
Even so, others can take care of the killing. Being one of the 3 survivors is enough to win.
In other words, she planned to win while dirtying her hands as little as possible. Possibly the most logical way to approach the game. However... Dispute? Show determination. She said... We should dispute this because I think he would dispute this. He's not in for killing anybody. Even himself, he said. But do you think surviving is easy? Is that why you're keeping away from us? I think that'll just put you in more danger. Sometimes we need others' help, and hiding away will only make you vulnerable.
Still more likely to work than your plan.
That hurt like a punch to the gut. But even recognizing that he was being idealistic, he preferred it to falling into the cynicism that most of them seem to be engulfed in. As long as that ideal end wasn't 100% unreachable, he had to keep trying, but no one seemed to think the same. Silence seemingly came back, but to his surprise he got something.
Still, good luck.
Oh, thanks. I can't do it alone. We need to unite to have a chance. Is she gonna unite with me? Can't you at least consider it?
I can.
Will you?
No. But here's some advice. Even if you manage to save everyone, it'll come at a price. And that price might not be worth it for you. Now that was truly unexpected. He had no idea what she meant. It was too ambiguous.
What price?
I'm not a psychic. I can't see the future.
Right, but what do you mean exactly?
Not a financial price.
I got that part. I didn't expect it to be that I'd have to pay for something. You're not going to leave me with the suspense, right?
A goal like that would require a sacrifice.
With that, she turned around and left. At least she tried to. Wait. That's not how you end a conversation, you freak. She seemed annoyed, but Bill wanted to keep digging into the meaning behind her words. Are you saying that someone will have to die? Are you referring to number 2?
No.
Then...
it's just... a hunch. That's it. Something or someone will have to give.
She tried to leave again, and again he tried to stop her, but this time he got no response. Given that, he decided to let her be, as it was preferable to gaining her hate. With that done, it was time to move. we're going to move next time on Borderline Games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Beyond Our Rule Ripper, and I'll see you next time. Have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.